Having been a very active person, to suddenly find that I was no longer active was a blow to the pride. It was also new territory I'd never been in before. The caravanning we've sold, the caravan's gone.
No, he can't cope with that.
If you're planning your, in our case, your retirement, anything, any ideas you've got of, say, touring or activities, do them while you're fit enough, because we're so glad we went round Australia with a caravan. We toured in America and England, and I was fit and well at that stage and thoroughly enjoyed it. Those things now, I just couldn't cope with. The fatigue, and I've been amazed, and I only said to Judy on the way here, coming up the hill here, I'm amazed at how much stronger gravity is these days than what it used to be.
Debbie and I were due to fly out to London 3 days after my stroke. In fact, because we got the travel insurance, Debbie didn't miss out on the trip to Europe. In fact, we did the trip to Europe a year later. At the time, Debbie had actually taken 6 weeks off work for our trip to Europe, but in fact she saw the shores of Balmain rather than Europe.
I travel the world skiing. I'm totally comfortable when I've got a ski boot on. I actually went and made a brace that fits exactly the same as my ski boot does. Yeah, when I'm in ski boots, my disability goes away. I ski as hard, ski as fast, and coach the adaptive disabled ski team up at Mount Hotham, and absolutely love it.
One of the things we've done a lot since then is travel. We decided that if we're going to travel, it was now or never, and so we even booked a trip down the rivers through Europe before I could even walk, and going with some friends. So he said, okay, that means in 12 months you have to be able to walk. And we went on that and we had a great time. It turned out there's not too much on the trip I couldn't do myself. We mainly go on organised tours because we find, even though they're slightly more expensive, they work out so much better for us because they pick you up and take you and take care of the luggage, all that sort of stuff. So that would certainly be one thing. Try and take an organised tour. Airlines are pretty good. Early on we used to ask for help at the airports because particularly getting to, often when you get to the departure lounges, it's miles from where you check in, so you can get help to get there and back, and they're pretty good at picking you up at the other end. On the tour, as Karen said, we always sort of up front saying to the tour director, this is what I can do and what I can't do, and give them the final say, and they'll often say, look, this trip's okay, but the next day, suggest you stay home and don't go on this one. I mean, we take their advice on that sort of stuff. Getting in and out of small boats has always been a big issue, and so I've had some really interesting experiences getting in and out of boats. The overall advice is you can do most of it, but just be sensible. There'll be some things you can't do, and just accept that's the new facts of life, and move on.
Then of course there's travel insurance, and the very first trip we did, Kevin was only a year out of hospital, and we declared his aneurysm, etc. So they wouldn't cover him from an aneurysm, but they then made the premium about an extra $800 for him because of pre-existing, recent medical problems type thing. And we thought, well, we know you're not going to have another aneurysm because he was having annual scans of his brain. I think he's probably the only person that wasn't going to have an aneurysm. When you look at all the other conditions, heart disease and diabetes and all these things, that makes you realise, gee, we better travel now while, I'm well, because these things begin to catch up with you and it becomes harder and harder. And you definitely need the travel insurance, as we found out in Singapore, because Kevin's little effort in hospital cost $50,000 or something. and his trip home cost another $50,000 to get him home on the plane, so you need your travel insurance. You can buy them all over the place now, but we found it in a disability shop, non-slip stuff, not just a normal mat, but you can buy it by the metre. So we take a metre of that, so we can put it on the base of any shower, and that helps a lot because he's got very little stability in his left foot. He just slips over on a shower base. But with this, he's perfectly safe.
Yeah, a lot of bathrooms have very slippery tiles. So, you know, even disabled bathrooms, it's amazing. They're not really suitable for disabled people.
Personal time is a really big thing for me. Your brain deals with a lot. And I think I found that's why I really enjoyed running, because running, there's no phone, there's no kids yelling, there's no wife telling you what you have to do. Find an activity, and mine was running. You know, it was great for the heart, great for the athletic stamina and that kind of thing. So, but it's also good for the mind. Find something that you can enjoy all by yourself. It might be reading books. You know, whatever you do, have a time for yourself. Yeah, let that brain get a bit of a rest.